Welcome to the Halloween episode of the Game Dungeon. Now there are so many games I could have chosen for Halloween, and I originally had more ambitious plans, but this has been a busy month for me. So I'm having to scale things down a bit so I'm not releasing this in November. So instead of having lots of Halloween decorations and costumes with bags full of candy, this is more like stealing your neighbor's pumpkin and handing out breath mints you have lying around the house. So on that note, The Last Stand is a free Flash game. Whoa, don't leave yet! I promise there are plenty of tricks and treats in this episode. So let's get started. Now The Last Stand is a zombie survival shooter. See, look at the instructions. Aim and shoot. Kill. Well, that's the attitude you're gonna have to take to survive this game. The goal is to hold out for 20 days against the zombies. Pretty simple in concept, so let's hop right in. Now I'm firing like a maniac already, but trust me when I say this is not overkill. If I take my time and just focus on the ones in front of me, the horde will be here before you can say reload. If they reach your barricade, they start tearing it apart until they get in and eat you. This game is going to make you fight for your life. Okay, so that wasn't that big a deal, but that was just the first night. Now here's where the other half of the game comes into play. After each night, you can repair your barricade, search for weapons, or search for survivors to help you out. You only have so many hours in the day and you have to make them all count. And just like in real life, if you go out searching for people, there are no guarantees you'll find them. Sort of like a dating site, except instead of dates, you're looking for any idiot that can point a gun the right way. Perfect. And just to spice things up, there's a chance you can lose any survivors you do have anytime you set foot outside your barricade. I mean, you saw what it was like out there. I like this blend of luck and strategy in between all the shooting to help round things out. After the day's over, you get to choose your weapon loadout, assuming you have any, and you get a diary entry each day. And then it's back into the fire. Now these survivors are a help, but as you can see, none of them seem to have the initiative I do as far as keeping these zombies back. I like the art style for this game. At first I thought it was done by David Firth. You can see how I got confused. If you don't know who he is, he's essentially trying to corner the market on psychotic Flash cartoons. If your life is too normal and you're just not disturbed enough being you, look up any of his videos and he'll take care of you. I try to provide a few safety barriers here on the Game Dungeon, but if you watch any of his videos, I can't promise you won't be weirded to death. But anyway, the survivors are just padding. The moral of this story is if you rely only on other people to fix your zombie problems, you're gonna die. Now while we're shooting zombies, because that's what we're going to be doing this episode, I want to address something. Because I'm sure some of you have been groaning and thinking, oh god, not another zombie game. Because you think the market is saturated with zombies. Well, you know what? You're right. It is saturated with zombies. You know how I know this? Because a few years ago, I saw a zombie DLC pack released for a train simulator. To me, that ends the debate. See, this is just more evidence that Wow, okay, that's enough zombie train simulators for this year. So zombies are everywhere now. Zombies. So if you're sick of them, I understand. But at the same time, I love the zombie survival theme. I first was exposed to it in a video store where I rented Dawn of the Dead, knowing nothing about it, and was like, that was pretty awesome. Then in the 2000s onward, mainstream culture went zombie crazy, and it's not showing any signs of subsiding. So I guess I liked zombies before they were cool, and now that they are cool, it's like a dream come true. Now I don't like all things zombie, believe me, but the more zombie content there is, the higher the chance a good one will pop up. For example, this is great, and this is complete garbage. Great garbage. It's not even the killing zombies part I like, which I guess is ironic because look at this. What I really like about zombies is that the concept turns civilization upside down, so that all your priorities change. Oh, you don't have to get dressed and go to work tomorrow. There's zombies outside. You don't have to worry about the rent this month either. There are zombies outside. You don't have to do your taxes or obey laws. There are zombies outside. It's just a cool scenario. The other thing I love about zombies is that they're kind of ambiguous as an enemy. Oh, sure, you can stop one zombie easily enough, but there's so many and they just keep coming. That adds a subtle creepiness level you just don't get from other monsters. So they're not just scary in the immediate sense, but they're scary on an existential level too. And that's why I'm covering The Last Stand, because my god, these zombies just keep coming. This is a great game to play if you want to try and break your mouse. If you have a cheap $5 one, your mouse may not survive the night either. You're not hearing it in the video, but this is what it sounds like playing while firing the semi-automatic weapons. If anybody in the next room hears you and asks what you're doing, tell them you're doing high-frequency stocks trading. Maybe they'll leave you alone then. The difficulty on this game is a little deceptive. If you're just starting out, this game is hard and you might not make it. But after a while, you'll figure out different strategies that work best. The more survivors you have, the easier this game gets. I do like how as your barricade starts to collapse, some of the survivors will panic and run away. No, come on, where are you going? We've got this. Come on, stick with me. We've got this. Come on back. I won't tell anybody you left. It's cool. Damn it. Some weapons are much, much better than others, though you can beat the game with almost any of them. I've beaten this game with submachine guns, shotguns, assault rifles, hunting rifles, and the chainsaw. The chainsaw especially is the first weapon you get that's a game ender. If you can't beat this game once you find the chainsaw, you don't really have an excuse. I find this very calming. I wish I could solve all my problems like this. Now on the later levels, I get some slowdown with the game. It's not because I'm recording, this happens normally. It's using my GPU to accelerate the game too. It's even slower without it. I'm going to blame this entirely on Adobe Flash. My system has enough power to run Crysis at a playable speed. But whoa, trying to run a full screen 2D Flash game with a few dozen sprites? I'm not sure we'll ever invent a computer fast enough to handle that. So the game might be hard to newcomers, but then it gets easy. But if you want a challenge, play this game solo. Don't look for one survivor. Do it all yourself, like you're Robinson Crusoe in Zombieland. When I originally recorded this, I didn't realize someone had actually written a Robinson Crusoe zombie book. I haven't read it, so I can't endorse it. But once again, if you're sick of zombies, I'm sorry. If you play this game solo, I can guarantee you won't make it your first time through. You have to figure out strategies that work. Your day planning becomes monumentally important. You really just have to hold on long enough to get the chainsaw. After that, you have no one to blame but yourself. Unless, of course, you play as the yoga contortionist expert who's been gut shot from the looks of things. This mode is especially hard as you can't fire any weapons. I don't recommend playing this way. It's not very fun. So, The Last Stand is an enjoyable game. It's an intense, nerve-wracking, casual game. Yeah, that sounds right. I give it a rating of candy corn. But like the movie Alien or The Terminator, the original is good, but the sequel is even better. That's right, they made The Last Stand 2. So we're gonna cover that too. Now let's get the obvious out of the way, and that's they picked the wrong name for this series. You can't have a second Last Stand, because then the first one wasn't the last. I have the same issue with Final Fantasy and Final Fight. It clearly wasn't the Final Fantasy, was it? And while I'm on the topic, what the hell is this? Children of the Corn 2, The Final Sacrifice. You're putting the word final in your first sequel? Oh, so I guess no one else is going to get sacrificed from now on, huh? Yeah, we don't care about words. Let's just make the sequel, right? Damn it. So the story picks up where the first left off. You were rescued by the military, flying off in a helicopter at dawn. It's the same ending as Resident Evil. Sorry if that spoils things for anyone, but that game's been out for 18 years. So you kind of had your chance. That's it. It's over. Safe at last. He's infected. Uh-oh. That's the thing about a zombie virus. It's the gift that keeps on giving. So the pilot is attacked and you crash. But you're a hard ass, so of course you survive. At least this military pilot has a good excuse for crashing his chopper. Many don't even need a reason. So the goals here are a little different. They're closing off the mainland and the last transport out of here is in 40 days, and you have to make it in time, otherwise you can call Zombieland your new home. Nobody really wants to live in Zombieland. Now we start, and the first thing I notice is this is already more intense. Zombies are running at me, we have dogs from the start, and my barricade has less hit points than before. Now you might think all this makes the game harder, but now you're rocking a beard, so that helps balance things out. Also, I realized he had only so much time to set up a barrier, but if it was me, I think I would try to close the door. I think the metal frame would slow them down. So after you put down the first wave of madness, you have your day planning again. This is the biggest change from the original. The repairs work the same, but instead of designating what you search for, you search through specific buildings and take whatever you can find. When you find survivors, you can equip them with any extra weapons you have. You can only have 4 survivors this time, but they pack more of a punch than before. It also hurts more when they die. More on that in a minute. You can also get traps and place them out to stop the zombies, but honestly the traps didn't make a huge difference to me. In most games I don't use them or I'll save them all for the end. Keep searching this area until you find the chainsaw. It's not as good as the original since the tank is half as large and it takes way longer to refuel, but it's still a friggin' chainsaw. Oh yeah. Now after finding enough food and supplies, you can leave the starting town anytime you want. That's right, you have multiple stops this time on your road to salvation. You get to choose where to go. Each area will have different weapons and backgrounds. You can visit every location if you want, but if you do, you're not gonna make it out in time, so you have to commit. It does seem like everywhere you go, zombies just run right towards you every night. If it was me, I would try to find a different place to stay after the first night, like an attic or something. I mean, it's hard to imagine things being much worse than this. Just kidding. Of course it gets worse than this. For starters, the farther along you go, the less durability your barricade has. It only gets worse from here. Also, remember how I said your survivors can get killed? Well, you don't lose them arbitrarily while searching them. Instead, some zombies will just run right up and slice their fucking head with a machete. Ouch! I guess the zombies have a little bit of muscle memory left in them. This only increases the paranoia, because now in addition to your barricade, you start eyeing any zombies holding a weapon. I'll even get nervous about reloading, because if I do it at the wrong time, that could be the moment a zombie runs up to kill my hapless survivors. Shit! The Last Stand really gives you a sense of trying to hang on. Every day you're busting your ass and you're just barely getting by. I can really relate to this game. This is what life is like. Except instead of zombies, you have problems. Some are going to stagger towards you slowly, so slowly you hope someone else will take care of them, but others are going to run at you, relentless and screaming, trying to tear down your tiny junk fort that's not much, but it's the only sanctuary you have against the unending madness that is outside. And these zombies stack up. I mean, early on, if you're good enough, you can take them all out before they even reach your fort. But later, it's a certainty that they are going to start tearing apart everything you have, and you just have to pray you can shoot them dead before they can get in and just make it through the night. Oh God, you need more time. You just need more time. You know, I thought this was going to be a game review, but the reality is this is more an interpretive autobiography. If you've ever wanted to know what a day in my life feels like, Go play this game. It wasn't always like this, and I think after we clear out some more zombies, it'll get a lot better. But it sure is taking a while. There's something going on with them now. They're getting faster and stronger. They're saying that they should die off eventually, but it just doesn't seem to be happening. Couldn't have said it better myself. I should take this opportunity to apologize to anyone who's emailed me and I haven't replied yet. I want to reply to everyone, and I would go do it right now, except these zombies keep coming. If I go type up some emails, they're going to tear down this wall in under a minute. You think these other people are going to keep them back? Really? Look at them. Look at this guy. Tired. Can't write. Taking down fat zombie guys all day. Story of my life. Now this game is hard. Under normal conditions, I frequently can't beat it. However, there is hope. My advice is get to Aspenwood and keep searching until you find the hunting rifle. And never let go. It doesn't look like it, but this is arguably the best weapon in the game. It often stops zombies in one shot. Sometimes it takes out more than one at a time. And while you reload after each shot, it's short enough that you can fire constantly without having to worry about your reload time. I'm serious in that I think this is better than the AK-47 or the M4. I can reliably beat the game once I have this rifle. The only thing it can't save you from is Adobe Flash, the hidden enemy. On these later levels, it really likes to take a crap on my system, and that's with the bodies fading. Something the first one didn't do as much of. I'll have to check back in 10 years and see if this game is still too slow. Well, the madness can only go on for so long, and eventually you make it. Here is the end you've all been waiting for. You make it to Union City, and now it's safe at last. It's finally over. The last stand. I think they could have done a little more and given us a little cutscene of him getting on the boat, but hey, it's something. So The Last Stand 2 is a really solid game. It still is a casual game, but I feel like if they could expand this and add a few more mechanics, you could have a first-rate zombie survival experience going on here. I give it a rating of Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. So I guess that about wraps this up, except for one thing. They made another sequel, The Last Stand, Union City. Well, I'm excited about this because The Last Stand 2 was so good. Plus, I'm not claiming to be a psychic or anything, but I just had the feeling that Union City wasn't completely safe. It was just a vibe I was getting. So let's hop right in. There's two main modes, a hardcore survivor mode and run and gun. Well, since I'm just starting out, I'll do the basic version so I can get a handle on the gameplay first. Huh, Mario Nelson. Sounds good to me. Alright, now you get to pick what your character looks like this time. Well, I want him to look like the guy I've been playing the last two games. We have seen some shit. Well, it doesn't look exactly like him, but this will have to do. Occupation, I have no idea. I guess I'll go with cop. A cop is always a useful occupation to have if the apocalypse is going on. So I'll be a cop sporting a lumberjack beard. I guess my department is extra lenient. And here we go. The graphics are looking good. Good mood building. Some guy driving alone at night in the forest. Hey, I made a video that starts out this way. Okay, I'm gonna have to plug my own video. Stranger in Need. It's on the same channel as this one, and it's a Halloween bonus if you haven't seen it already. And now it's time for Attack of the Flash Slowdown. Whoops. Okay, well, my character is acting like a cop already by fiddling with too many things at the same time he's driving. Cops get in car accidents all the time because of distracted driving. I am not joking, you can look it up. I mean, they're trying to navigate where to go, talking to dispatch, drinking their coffee, looking for anything suspicious. Cops were getting into wrecks like this before we even invented cell phones. So now we start the game. As you can see, the format of the game has changed. It's now a side-scrolling action RPG. Sort of like Legend of Zelda 2. Definitely a genre shift, but hey, this could be pretty cool. We might have a real game on our hands this time, and not just a casual one. We have an inventory, skills, stats. This is looking like the real deal. Good, now I can attack. I'm sure a tire iron is all I need to survive the apocalypse. Now I am seeing some slowdown, which is a bad sign, but not a lot I can do about that. Okay, let's keep moving to the next area. Trick or treat! Okay, time to explain some things. I've been playing these games on a standalone Flash player because it gives me more options, has less overhead than a web browser, and I resent any game that makes me connect to a central server in order to play it. This will not be the last time I talk about this, but the short version is, while having to be online is just a nuisance, what I hate is that any game that makes you connect to a central server is on life support. The day the company decides to pull the plug, unless somebody hacks it, that game is gone forever. That's because almost no companies ever give players a way to play the game after they kill the server. So it pisses me off whenever I see one that forces it. Well, Union City is giving me a hard time in more ways than one. First, the updated version tries to force me online for no reason. Look at this shit. Wow, what a great update. So I'm playing the older version, but when I do that, it breaks full screen support at this point in the game. And the new one won't even run. What the hell? This is a dark, moody zombie game. I want to play this at night with all the lights off so I can get immersed in it. And not only is the game trying to force me online, but it doesn't give me a full screen option. Something I could force in the previous games. This is what the game looks like in a browser on their official site. Gee, what a great experience. I love the solid white contrast against the nighttime lighting. This is such bullshit. Why would they put so much time and effort into the game only to have an oversight this large? Yeah, we want you to play our game, but we don't want you to enjoy it. I tried 2 web browser plugins that claim to make Flash games full screen. Neither one worked for this game. I can sort of increase the magnification size to get the picture bigger, but this is horseshit. I shouldn't have to do this, and even then it's still not full screen. It's me bumbling around with some stupid white border that my eyes can't adjust to, Flash slowing down like a bug stuck in glue, and it's forcing me to connect to their server. That's it. The review of this game is over. Union City crosses my bullshit threshold. I'm not gonna play a game that resists me trying to enjoy it this much. It's a shame because based on my initial impressions, this looks like it could be really good. But I guess I'll never know because of bullshit business decisions on their part. I give Union City a rating of a box of liquor-flavored truffles, except the box is empty. There's nothing inside it. Somebody opened it and I can't find the truffles. So I guess that's the last of the Last Stand series. It started off strong, got better, but then... Wait, what's this? The Last Stand Dead Zone? Yep, they made another sequel, making this a quadrilogy. The last stand. Well, this time I'm wary of what's in store, seeing as how much they kneecapped Union City. And my fears are well-founded. This one doesn't fuck around. Not only do you have to be online to play it, but they require you to register on their site. Again, this is just an annoyance, but all I can think about is the day they're going to shut this off and there's nothing left of this game. So I jumped through their hoops like a good hamster and finally launch it. Well, when I started recording the video for this review, I was afraid this was as far as I was going to get. I was able to log in before, but when I tried to log in while recording, it would just stall like this again and again and again. I left it running for an hour. It didn't matter. This is one of those status windows that lies to you, saying it's connecting. Whereas the reality is, if you see this, you will never connect unless you start over. What a perfect example of the extra layer of bullshit that comes with having an online-only game. But lucky for you guys, 8th time's the charm, and I got to log in. What a privilege. Well, the first positive thing I'll say about it is it has a full screen option. Too bad they couldn't add that to Union City. If only there was some way to update an online game. Sadly, that's impossible, but at least they got it right here. Now, my first impression of this is that visually it looks a lot like Fallout, and it's also very complex. Just from poking around, I can gather this game involves building structures to support different needs of your survivors, managing your squad, their inventory and their stats, fulfilling assignments, crafting items, purchasing items, going on recon missions, invasions, some city management elements. Damn! There's a lot going on here. I mentioned earlier how The Last Stand 2 could use just a little more depth, but I think they might have gone overboard here. As for the genre, I guess you would call this an MMO city and resource management tactical strategy action RPG crafting sim game. Jesus Christ. Now, I'm not against complex games with a real learning curve, but I feel like the more complex a game is, the more it has to sell me on the idea of playing it. Well, there's certainly some selling going on here. From playing earlier, I found that you needed fuel for almost everything. Like, I had to build a workbench. That took some fuel. If you want a place to sleep, some more fuel. Get more fuel. Save resources. Use fuel. Get fuel now. Everywhere you go, fuel, fuel, fuel. Also, from the beginning screen, I'm noticing the game is awfully eager to steer me towards options to either spend or buy more fuel. Is this much fuel really necessary? Are we running a go-kart track? How about just some elbow grease instead? Now, to be fair, some of this is to be expected with a free-to-play game. They make money by making the game a little easier, having some more options, or having some cosmetic changes. This isn't always that big a deal, but... Do you smell that? I think I smell a paywall. Like I want to clean up some junk in my fort. Okay, that's going to take 6 hours of real time to do. But hey, speed things up. Buy some fuel. Does this remind you of something? It does to me. This is Farmville. They turned this into zombie survival Farmville. Farmville uses psychological tactics like making you wait until the next day to progress in the game. There's research behind that. The idea is if they can artificially force you to play the game just a little bit each day instead of binging, it becomes more habit forming and they trick you to being addicted to it. Well, that crap doesn't work on me. It just pisses me off. I would say this is anti-consumer, but really it's anti-gamer. This is not something you do to make a better game. This is what you do to wring money out of suckers. So how much does fuel cost anyway? They have convenient price scaling, of course. Well, I have no idea how much fuel I really need. But holy crap, $100 in fuel? You know what? This is not my idea of what a $100 game looks like. I mean, I've never bought one, but this is more in line with what I would expect of a $100 game. An art book, a soundtrack, some little figurines or trinkets, some nice extras to make the game more memorable. Now, some of these I'm showing cost more than $100, but here's one I know was $100 when it came out. That's right, you can get this for less than $40 now. I checked. And hey, even with this, you get a Duke bust, playing cards, art book, a comic book. You're getting more value for your money with Duke Nukem Forever than with this game. So what does that say? But hey, maybe I'm off base. Maybe you don't need to spend that much on fuel. So before getting deeper into the game, I decided to get a second opinion. Well, I looked up a review and found some interesting comments. To gain significant progress in the game, you need to purchase fuel. It's not that there isn't enough to do in this massive world, it's that you have to buy your way through it. You'll need more than a one-time purchase of $100 to make substantial progress. Holy crap. You either wait endlessly through the zombie apocalypse or go broke trying. Wow, that tells me all I need to know. I'm not playing this game either, for completely different reasons than Union City. You know what this means? It means the Last Stand series is a long con. This is what they were leading up to. They try to hook you on the early games, force you to play online later, then move in for the kill with Dead Zone. Man, I admit, when I saw this was made by Con Artist Productions, I thought they were just being stylish. I didn't suspect this game was literally made by con artists. Like, my homepage is Accursed Farms, but that's just a name I made up. I don't actually live on a farm with fallow earth and possessed cows and a sentient scarecrow like in that one Scary Stories book. Not yet, anyway. But yeah, trick or treat, motherfuckers. Oh, I know I haven't contributed. And to top it off, I could not for the life of me figure out how to exit to the main screen once I entered the map screen. I'm serious, I tried every button I could find. So that's The Last Stand series. I give Dead Zone a rating of apples with razor blades hidden inside them. Well, I hate to end this on a down note, but I got tricked this time. So as a final treat, here's something I skipped in The Last Stand 2. If you decide you don't care about the end and just want to go native, you can choose to skip being rescued and take a detour into a military base to get some real firepower instead. And there you have it. I am now king of the zombies. None shall oppose me. All shall recognize my undisputed authority as I forge this land into my own vision. I arrived late and the bombs dropped, but I don't care. This is my world now. The end. That's it. Happy Halloween. Remember, if people come running to your door, don't shoot them. They're probably just trick-or-treaters. You could go to prison for that. Two at once? Are you kidding me? Well, that's it. The zombies won. The zombies won.